is up? Hi, social studies. Welcome to another week of current events where I get to talk about things that you don't care about but definitely happened in the world. So we'll start with the big Cove. Uh, Record numbers in Alberta, over 400 the last few days. I'm recording this on Friday, so hopefully good news over the weekend, but yeah, not great overall. Meanwhile, Premier Jason Kenney said we're not moving to the lockdown style that we saw in the spring because that's too detrimental to the economy, and economists agree. Epidemiologists, though, they think if you let it get too out of hand, you might get a lot of fellow online students soon. That's not actual news, I'm just speculating, but if the numbers continue to rise for too long, the government will have to do something. But for now, record highs, but no mandatory things happening. Also in Alberta, a curriculum review came out for social studies, grade K through 4. Now, as a social studies teacher, there's a lot of things I could say about this, but there's the removal of residential schools from the grade 3 curriculum. They say they'll cover it later. There's the focus on some absurd things in fine arts, like the sound of Big Ben's chimes or something like that. But the most egregious for me, well, not the most, but one of the most, is the return to basics. So the idea is you don't know enough stuff. Sure, you have all this like maybe critical thinking skills, but if I asked you what's the population of Switzerland, you would be like, well, I don't know. Or if I said how many people are in Canada, you might be like 30 million without actually having a number. So the curriculum review put out by an advisor who is problematic to say the least. He said that we need to return to basics. So part of those basics are you should learn in grade 3 the sizes of the not the Great Lakes, the 3 biggest lakes other than the Great Lakes in Canada. The 3 biggest rivers, what's their length? So I am a social studies teacher, and I will tell you, I have no idea, 0 idea what the size of our biggest lakes are. In fact, I'm going to do this with you right now. This is real. I have not Googled. I'm about to Google. All right, so let's see. What is the size of Canada's lakes? Now, a kilometer by a kilometer, that wouldn't be very big. That'd be 1 square kilometer, right? Right, math? That seems pretty small. 10 kilometers by 10 kilometers, that would be pretty big. But like the Arctic is big, and there's a lot of space. So instead of 10 by 10, that'd be 100 square kilometers. So let's say I'm off by a lot. Let's say it's 1,000. 1,000 square kilometers, that's my guess. Size of biggest lakes in Canada. Enter. Okay. So after the Great Lakes, 31,000 square kilometers. Yeah, okay. My answer was 1,000, and I'm clearly going to fail the grade 3 curriculum now because I did not know that. Great Bear Lake, which is in the Arctic-ish. Yeah, near the Arctic Circle. But again, I could never just Google that on my phone or whatever and be like, hey, here's the answer. I should have known that. So, cool curriculum, guys. Looking at the country, just today, Justin Trudeau announced that Canada will be buying 76 million doses of a Canadian-made vaccine. Who knows if it's the vaccine or if it'll be first, but Canada and other governments around the world are trying to buy as many doses from as many places as possible. So the first one that hits, we can distribute it as fast as possible. So the hope is early 2021 for a proper vaccine, and then after that we have to, drop it from the skies and let people fight it out to get it. So we'll see if that works. Last night, Thursday night for me, there was a debate between Biden and Trump. It was boring. I mean, it was fine, but it was a little boring. But yeah, American politics. Borat 2 came out, so you should I don't know. I don't know if you should watch it or not. I haven't watched it yet. Uh, Speaking of the U.S. politics, but also going into the world news, Russia and Iran got a hold of a bunch of voter information, i.e., hacked a bunch of voter information, and sent out some emails that are a little threatening, getting people to, vote for their guy. So, yeah, misinformation and fake news combined with hacking and whatnot, and that'll make for an interesting election in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for your announcements. Hey, Social 20s. This is your announcements for the week. The subject matter you're covering this week is about how ultranationalism leads to crimes against humanity. And that cheery subject is about as fun as it sounds. So, yeah, there's like a content warning over all of this that, hey, you'll be learning about genocide, and genocide is terrible. If we were in a classroom, I would choose images that were graphic enough to get you to think about things, but not so graphic that you will never forget them. Because you're on your own for this, just be aware. Just be aware that, I know safe search is kind of lame, especially as a cool teen like you, but as you're doing some stuff, especially for the assignment, you might want to turn it on just so you don't see like literally dismembered bodies. So yeah. Speaking of sadness, if you and hopefully someone in your life, like your family or someone, want to spend about 3.5 hours just feeling sad, I recommend watching Schindler's List on Netflix. I would, if you were in my class, I would force you to watch it because you will never watch it on your own. You will never be like, hey, you know what is a cool Saturday night? 3.5 hours of a black and white Holocaust movie. But in the absence of a real class, I challenge you to do it. Um, Probably not by yourself in the dark, but make your own decisions. The assignment this week is about researching a super sad thing, a crime against humanity, a genocide, a whatever. There's an exhaustive list, but if you have a specific thing that you've heard about that you want to look into, just ask and you can do it there. The requirements are on the document. Um, a little vague at times, but that's hopefully so that you can kind of do your own thing with it. But ask questions if you have them. There will be a mini video lesson, much like the World War one before. This week it will be about anti-Semitism in Nazi Germany and how that all sucks. And then the Zoom call, just like every week, will be about, hey, if you're having trouble with the assignment or with any content that we've covered, then you should log on and ask for help. But no one does it because you guys are all getting 100%. You're not, but whatever. Only show up if you need it. Otherwise, keep emailing and keep doing the sad work. Have fun this week.